All right, good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Cholet 40 First Nation and Treaty 3 territory. My name is Neil Harden. I'm chairing today's panel. With me via Zoom are Michelle Duncan and Diane Knight. The assessor today is Flatana Scheibel, and the recording secretary is Belhin Rojo. We will be hearing applications for revision of the business assessment rule in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act and the City of Winnipeg Charter. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application and will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the board. The board is appointed annually by council and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed, which each applicant following the swearing in. We'll then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions the applicant may have, then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application is being brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You'll receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing items 1 through 3, 5, 10, and 11 on our docket today. Ms. Rojo, please affirm the assessor's and applicant's testimony.
Madam Assessor, please state your full name.
Svetlana Scheibel.
And do you affirm the evidence you're about to present at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Applicant, please state your full name. I'm sorry, we're not able to hear you.
Have you got the speaker set to go onto the like the computer speaker as opposed to headphones or something else? Yeah, okay.
Did you want to take a recess while we figure this out, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, we'll recess while we deal with the technical difficulty. All right, thank you very much. We'll resume. We're at the point of swearing in Mr. Slaughter.
Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Rod Slaughter.
And you affirm the evidence about to present that this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, so the first property we're dealing with is 704 Osborne Street. So Ms. Scheibel, you may proceed.
File number 22-4235. Business roll number 23980. Business is Osborne Dental Corporation. We did assess business at $50,520. Area of premise 2,580 square feet. In us overall rent per square foot $19.58. This rent include standard occupancy cost. Base rent for the business assessment $17.07. The subject property is medical office located on 704 Osborne Street. It's two-floor building with leasable area 4,000, gross area 4,100. More street view on page number 2. On page number 3, it's medical dental rent comparables. I have presented 17 comparables. It's they showed that mean or average $23.80 and media $24. My comparable located on Harrow, Taylor, Roblin, Caridon, and Pembina. Lease started latest 2000. To example, let's go step. My first compare Harrow. Rent started in 2013 for 3,000 square feet at $25. Comparable on Taylor. Rent started in 2005 for 4,526 square feet at $26. Another rent in 2014 for 1,850 square feet at $33. Comparable number 4 of 3360 Roblin. Rent started in 2021. It's post-reference. Please cross comparable number 4. It's September post-reference. Comparable number 5. Lease started in 2018 for 1,741 square feet at $26. On Roblin 200 units 17, 8,000 square feet at $16. It's double size of subject property. Comparable number 7, rent started 2019, less than 1,000 square feet at $19. Another set comparables on Caridon Avenue, 4025 Caridon. First two leases started in 2020 at $25. Around 2,600 and around 1,000 square feet. Another lease on Caridon started 2015 at $24. Another set comparables, it's Pembina. Lease in 2017, 2,400 square feet at $20. Units 11 on Pembina, lease in 2020, 1,800 square feet at $20. Units 20 in 2019 for $21, 1,400 square feet. Lease in 2099 Pembina for 2,000 square feet for $25. Pembina 2107 lease in 2017 for $22 at around 4,000 square feet. Units 27, 1,400 square feet at $21. Another lease started in 19, 1,400 square feet and $21. So based and media, it's $24. We assess subject property, it's $17.07. So as based on my comparables. On page number 4, it's income expense mailer provided to us. It shows that it's owner-occupied building. Based on my set of comparables, the assessment and fair, it should be confirmed at $50,520. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay, Mr. Slaughter, any questions?
Just one, thank you. Ms. Schabel, typically, if the realty market rent had been reduced by the board and uncontested by a further appeal, would the city typically consider that as the best evidence for the market rent for the business assessment?
If we agree with reduction, yes. And if, by the way, if it will be clear, explain. If it's clear, explain and order, it will be a sign agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I do have rebuttal evidence, but that will complete my questions. Thank you.
Okay, we will deal with the rebuttal evidence after your presentation.
Sure.
Okay, Michelle, any questions?
No questions at this time.
Okay, Diane, any questions? Are you muted, Diane?
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't actually. The volume keeps going in and out here. So I do have a couple of questions. On your comparables, are these all medical offices as well?
Correct. Dental medical offices, yes.
And which would you say is your best comparable?
It's a range. We can see it's rent between $16 to $33 per square foot. In media, $24.
Okay, and are these all the same age of building?
It's a different age of building.
And we don't know what those ages are, correct?
I didn't present it. Yes, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Thank you.
Okay, you seem to have 4 different, I guess, locations essentially, and several leases in each of those locations. Oh, is that 2077 Pembina one? Is that near the Grace Hospital? Oh, not the Grace
2077
Hospital, the
Pembina.
Victoria Hospital.
It's a shopping mall. Yes, something there.
Okay.
A subject property located on Osborne. I have on Caridon dental office. You can see it's $25 per square foot, but it's a newer building. Yes.
Okay. What about the 1425 Corridon? Is that
1425 Caridon? Yeah, it's dental office.
dental
Because-
office? Okay.
Yes, and Roblin, it's like small shopping mall, but you can see that double size of subject property, 8,000 square feet, rent and $16. And we assess small area at $17. It's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Slaughter, you can present your brief, and then we'll have questions on it, and then you can present your rebuttal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So if I could ask the panel, please, to turn to the document, Altus Group. It doesn't have any note of rebuttal evidence on it. I'll just pause for a moment so everybody has that.
Okay.
If you go to page 2 of that document, you'll see a photograph of the property. And this is the most important point, I think, Mr. Chairman, is that we need to understand what we're dealing with before we start looking at the comparisons. What the subject property is a 2-story structure built in 1942 in the South Osborne area. It's on a corner lot. In 1969, a rear addition was put on that you can see at the back of the photograph. It has only an 8-foot ceiling height. And the rear addition is now used for the entranceway and waiting room. The addition is not at grade with the existing structure, and there isn't access put in at this time. So there's actually a step up, which is a bit of a problem for some of the clinic's patients. And there's obviously no elevator to the second floor where some of the rooms are. The other point is that the parking at this property is extremely limited. It's just a very small part at the back that you can fit about 3 cars in. That's all. So one of the concerns that I have with a selection of comparisons is that if we look to new dental offices, just the age alone would make it, should have some consideration. But the main thing is that oftentimes these type of the comparisons will be in high visibility, high traffic locations with ample parking. And by that, I mean specific medical buildings or retail strips. And that's just, it's very hard to compare those type of locations to the subject. Although it is hard to find good comparisons too. So I understand and empathize with the city's position. But we have to take it with a grain of salt. So on page 4, we have a description of the property. I basically walked the panel through that. You can see the aerial photograph with the very limited parking. And when I say 3 cars, you would have to be blocking one in front. It really fits 2 across, and that's it. So we look to our comparisons. Now, Mr. Chairman, I'll pause for a moment. The reason I asked Ms. Schabel about the city's practice when it comes to market rents established for the realty assessment is that this property was reduced for the realty for the 2023 assessment a few months ago. And I appreciate Ms. Schabel's answer. She's very good about, we've had agreements on this docket even following that logic. And I also agree with her that it doesn't necessarily mean either party has to follow if they disagreed or they're unsure about the calculation. But to be clear, if you can take a look at the last 2 pages of my evidence, we have the board order from the realty assessment. And it was significantly reduced, $727,000 to $477,000. It was not appealed further by either party. And you'll see on the second page that the reasoning by the board is the decision is based on an adjusted net operating income and a capitalization rate of 7%. Altus was asking for just slightly under 477. I think it was 453,000. So basically, we can establish that what we are asking for was attained with the exception, I think, of the non-recovered expenses. And what we are asking for, Mr. Chairman, was a market rent of $14 on the main floor and $12 on the second floor. It blended to $13.32. So while Ms. Schabel is correct, it doesn't specifically state that those rents are used. I can say with near certainty that that is what the board agreed to. Now, back to page 8, please, of the document. I've included exactly the same rents that we had considered for the realty assessment, or essentially anyway. 10 of these rents are the same rents. And as I said, it is tough to find comparisons like this because you very seldom find these type of facilities in a location like this. They're usually in a more high visibility, high traffic and ample parking location. But what we have is, number one is on Regent. It actually is in a retail sort of location, and they're paying $11 a square foot. The second is a medical sort of facility on Concordia, and that you will find it's a newer facility, built in 1982. So that's where you do see the rents creeping up to closer to what the assessor currently is using. But again, not like the subject. Again, St. Mary's, we have some rents that are in that range too, $15, but these are in a retail setting, $15.49 St. Mary's. So you have ample parking, you have high traffic, very different sort of thing. On Portage Avenue, we have 2281 Portage. This is a good comparison. This is a little closer to what we're talking about here. And then we have a number of properties in Portage Avenue in a retail office complex, 3025 Portage. It's near the Grace Hospital, which I don't think is exactly the same, but they're ranging from $9 on the upper to $12. And this is where, Mr. Chairman, we established that the main floor might be a bit higher than the second unless there's elevator access. And lastly, we have a property on Roblin that is 4910 Roblin. That's a fairly good comparison. It is newer though, 1978. So you can see the rationale that we had applied and the board had agreed. And again, the rents that we concluded were $14 on the main, 12 on the second, blending to $13.32. I've included some other rent comparisons here that I won't go into, Mr. Chairman. These are extra that I've put in because they are more comparable to the subject's physical characteristics. But I think I'll just stay with the first set of comparisons. But anyway, they corroborate our conclusions. So we've applied $13.32 a square foot on page 7. We agree with the city's application of the utility costs. So when we put the two together, you can see on page 7, Mr. Chairman, that the ARV, the annual rental value, would be $40,800. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, questions, Ms. Shable?
Yes, please. I did present a rebuttal for these comparables on page number 5 on agent brief. We're going
Page-
now?
Yes. Yes, okay. First we'll deal with questions that you have. Well, no, let's deal with your rebuttal now. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if I received, apologies if I did, I don't know if I received the rebuttal.
I
I just sent it right now. It'll.
I have our rebuttal.
Yeah, I just hit send.
Oh, just now. Okay. I'll hang on then. Ah, there it is. Okay. Nope, that's not it. I'll be patient.
It might be too large to send in a single one. I'll try sending again.
Okay. Thanks.
1 second.
Oh, I see. It's individual. Okay, I have it now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You have it?
Thanks,
Okay.
Bill. Yeah.
okay, do we have it?
Yes,
Which one is it then?
it says assessor's rebuttal at the top. It's a file folder, I think.
Yeah, I left it in the file folder.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, go ahead then.
We have comparables, first comparable, so 701 Regent Avenue. You can see that their rent between $11 and $19 per square foot. If you see a clinic, $11, we have a Dynacare, $19. It's my first comparable rebuttal. Let's open
Sorry, the
Concord.
sorry,
Sorry.
I'm just, yeah. The seventh,
I had the
the
same question.
Regent, sorry, the Regent, you said what?
701 Regent.
Mm-hmm.
We have agent showed only $11, but it's between $11 and $19. If you see Transcona X-ray Clinic, $11, but we have Dynacare $19.
Okay.
It's medical office. Let's open Concordia, 11 Concordia.
So just to be clear, Ms. Shable, the rebuttal there is that there's other rents in that retail property.
Yes. So medical offices range between 11 and 19. On Concordia, we can see that second floor. 1 second, I need to make bigger. And we can see the second floor here at $12 per square foot. If main 15 and second floor $12 per square foot, and average, we can see how much average. Not so much. I was in my comparables. Yeah, average base rent $11.34 on Concordia. At my point, second floor $12 per square foot. We're going to St. Mary Road. Yes, main floor $15 and second floor $11. It's correct.
Sorry, where's St. Mary's Road?
St. Mary's Road 1549. Main floor $15 and second.
Sorry, I just don't see St. Mary's Road at this point. I see Henderson, Regent, Maine, Roblin, Henderson, Portage, Maine, and Concordia.
Okay, maybe I need to submit it. Okay. Do you see 2110 Main Street?
Yes, thank you.
Maybe I didn't send it, missed it. So we can see that units 110 rent for $14 per square foot. 110. It's Terry Babix. Rent size 2017 and $14 per square foot. Portridge 2281. It's gross rent. You can see it's not net rent. We don't look it. Usually net gross rent, it's we don't use like our comparables. And Roblin. Units number 2, rent for $15.50. Roblin. Units 2, if you estimate, divide 27, 1250 monthly rent for 2,100 square feet, it will be $15.50 per square foot. Thank you. No more information.
Okay, does that conclude your questions?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Diane, any questions of Mr. Slaughter?
I do not.
Okay, Michelle?
Of Mr. Slaughter? No, I do not.
Okay, now, Mr. Slaughter, you can present your rebuttal.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the document looks very similar to the one that you just had, but it does say rebuttal evidence right in the middle of the page.
Yep.
And what we're looking at here is what the city's rent comparisons were. And again, I come back to my comments at the beginning that it is hard to find comparisons like this 1942 two-story building without elevator. But these, in my opinion, are not at all comparable. So the first one is a new medical facility on Harrow and Pembina. Basically, it's very new, and it has ample parking that surrounds the entire building.
I'm sorry, Mr. Slaughter. I'm having a hard time finding your rebuttal.
Sure, I'll pause for a moment. It should
Where
look
is it,
identical.
Helen?
It should be listed as the third document for item 1. It'll follow the same naming format and it's
704. Oh, okay, 60. Got it now. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. On page, the second page is where we start. There's a photograph, and I'll just very quickly go through each one, but the panel should be able to see from the photograph the point that I'm making. So 717 Harrow is at Harrow and Pembina, new facility, ample parking. 1190 Taylor is a couple of the comparisons. That's the retail complex where the Sobeys is on Taylor. It's new, ample parking, high visibility, not really the same thing at all. The next page shows 3360 Roblin. This is a medical building. It was recently acquired and fitted for the medical offices on the second floor, and there's a pharmacy on the main floor. Fourth, 1425 Cordon that was mentioned. The number of comparisons in that facility is brand new building, ample parking at the back. It's a medical sort of suburban office. And the last, I think there's 4 comparisons at this property. This is the large retail complex on Pembina Highway. Ample parking, high visibility, et cetera, et cetera. It's a retail location. And so I would caution against these type of comparisons. As far as the assessor's rebuttal, from what I heard of other rents in those properties, there's nothing really that I believe changes our conclusions. So I asked the panel to consider the comparisons that we have submitted, that the board had agreed to for the realty assessment, and that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Scheibo, any questions on the rebuttal?
No questions.
Okay, Michelle, any questions on the rebuttal?
On here. Not on the rebuttal, but I did just have a question for Mr. Slaughter on. So the city's rebuttal presented a full extent of rents, whereas your comparables didn't present that range. Why would that be?
I think some of them didn't materially differ. We were trying to focus in on the medical offices that we were not aware of significant tenant improvement investment. And we felt those were a fairly good conclusion. The only one that I heard that really stood out was the very first one on Roblin, where there was a Dynacare. And I believe we would have felt that wasn't quite comparable. And besides that is a retail sort of location, so it didn't really sway my opinion at all of our conclusions.
Okay, thank you. No other questions.
Thank you.
Okay, Diane, any questions?
I do not.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentations then. Let's move on to the next property, which is 1218 Lorette. Okay, let me just pull up the file. Okay, Ms. Shabo, on 1218 Lorette.
Ms. Shable, just so you're aware, we'll be asking for confirmation, so you don't,
I
you
don't
can enter it into
consider
the record. But,
Mhm.
yeah.
Roll number 22-4548, business number 27599. It's a Central for Natural Medicine of Manitoba. We assess value business at $94,020. Thank you.
Okay, any questions, Mr. Slaughter?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Questions from the panel?
No, sir.
No, sir. Thanks.
Okay, and Mr. Slaughter, I understand you're requesting confirmation on this one?
Yeah, the realty assessment has actually been appealed further to the municipal board, so I thought it's probably best that we just confirm this business assessment and then we'll appeal it up to follow the realty.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We go to 1599 St. Mary's Road.
Can I proceed?
You can begin now. I was just opening the file. Okay, begin.
File number 22-4549, business roll number 40061. It's Santa Maria Pharmacy. We assessed business at $53,160. Area of 2,800 square feet. In our rent, $18.99. This rent includes standard occupancy cost. So our base rent $16.49.
Okay, Mr. Slaughter.
Nope, no questions, Mr. Chairman. Again, we'll be seeking confirmation.
Okay. Any questions, Michelle or Diane?
No questions.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Just to be clear, Mr. Chairman, in this case, we concluded that the ARV was fair, but I hadn't heard back from the business owner in time to prepare a withdrawal letter. I now have, so we'll just confirm it for today, but the intent is to let the appeal die.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to 1425 Main Street then. Ms. Shaibo, you can begin.
File number 22-4390. Business assessed roll number 50249. Business Red River Co-op. We assessed business at annual rental value of 51,540 square feet for total area of premise 3,514 square feet. In rent, overall rent $14.67. This rent include standard occupancy cost. Our base rent $12.17. On page number 2, we can see I presented photo and street view. It's office, medical office, it's pharmacy, located on area of 10,797 square feet of zoning C commercial land. In leasable area, 6,708 square feet. On page number 3, I presented 3 type of comparables. Because it's co-op, we have store kiosk rent comparables. I presented SEC comparables on Henderson, Edison, Keewatin, Osborne, Arlington. It's 7-Eleven, occupied by 7-Eleven, Red River Co-op. You can see it's old building. Leases size 1995, 2009. And by 2019, in our rent, media shown $13.70 and media $28.31. But these comparables, they have pump station as well. Second set of comparables for subject property neighborhood 305 Lixton. I presented 12 comparables. It's on Main Street, Layla, McPhillips, Main Street, Redwood, Main Street, and Redwood again. My comparables built between 1957 to 2000. Rent between with old rent in New York for reference day 1991 April's. It's rent $11.28 on Main Street for 1,585 square feet. Another on Main Street in 2020 lease, same. It looks like same comparables. Sorry. On 310 Layla Avenue, rent started 2021 for $11.53 for around 1,000 square feet. Comparable number 4, it's post reference, you can cross. It's new, upcoming lease in 2021. 10 comparable number 5, 1010 McPhillips Street. It's old building, size 1957, lease in 2020, 1,750 square feet at $16 per square foot. Another building on McPhillips, old buildings built in 1964, lease beginning 2021 for 8,000 square feet and $10. Comparable number 8, Redwood, 77 Redwood. I miss 1467 Main Street. It's similar like subject property for 1,400 square feet at $15.43. It's very close to the subject property. Comparable on Redwood, old lease for over 4,000 square feet and $15. Another set comparables on 1155 Main Street, between $15.21 per square foot. In my last comparable number 12 on $16.50 at Redwood Units E. And also I present a set of comparables for pharmacy, like subject property, existing subject property. We can see Unit 6, 20 Iceland Shore building. It's pharmacy, rent for $17, 1,200 square feet. Another Monroe Pharmacy on London Avenue, around 4,000 square feet, lease at $14.50. A pharmacy on Region, over 6,000 square feet at $16. Pharmacy on Logan, 5,000 square feet and $14.40. Pharmacy of McPhillips, $14.48 for around 1.5 thousand square feet. And biggest pharmacy on St. Mary, 7,500 square feet, and $18. So media $15.25. We did assess property at $12.70. So based on my comparables, the assessment fair and should be confirmed and $51,540. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay, questions, Mr. Slaughter?
Sorry about that. I have some rebuttal evidence, Mr. Chairman, but there's no questions.
Okay, we'll deal with the rebuttal after your presentation then. Okay, Diane, any questions?
Just in regards to the pharmacy rent comparables, are those all in malls or are they on corners like the subject property? And what is the age of those buildings?
Correct. It's usually a neighborhood because this type of leases only we can see leases most of them in retail neighborhood area. All small standalone building most of the time owner occupied.
But we don't know the age of the buildings.
I know age of the building for a store. My first set compare the second set comparables. I didn't include for first set comparables.
So London and Regent, they're in malls. What about Logan and McPhillips? Are they in a shopping mall?
Yes, it's a shopping mall as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Michelle, any questions?
Yeah, just clarification as far as the square footage. So the business assessment report talks about total area of all premises being 3,514 square feet. Yet the property description references 6,708. And then I noticed that there's your comparables are three different property usage types, but my question is the square footage. What is the correct square footage that's being rented?
This building has 6,708 square feet, but for business assessment, we apply only 3,500 square feet.
Okay. Thank you. No other questions.
Okay, and I have no questions. So Mr. Slaughter, begin your presentation.
Mr. Chairman, we have a document that on page 2 will show a photograph of the building. And it's very, well, not very similar, but it's the same sort of situation as we had on the last property. It's 1956 build in this case, not 1942. And it's located on a corner on Main Street. And so it has limited parking in the back. The inside of the property is very Spartan. So when we talk about a pharmacy, we often have a preconception of what that might include, which is almost more like a grocery store sort of finish. And this is not that. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is basically just a commercial space, shelving in the front. There's one checkout counter, and then at the back is a plexiglass where the pharmacist is. So fairly basic sort of finish. So we on page 4, there's a overhead photo of the property. I think some of the difference in the leasable area is attributed to some basement space that is not considered part of the usable area for the business assessment. So we don't have a contention with the area that's occupied. On page 5, we have a set of comparisons, mostly on Main Street, 2 on Henderson in what I consider to be similar types of location, but not exactly Main Street. And for the board's reference, I'll just quickly go through general locations of some of these. The first, I would admit, is not a very good comparison. It's on the lower end of Main Street in the 600 block. So I'd give that comparison less weight. Numbers 2 and 3 are in a superior location. This is at 1125 Main Street, which is a retail center location. So you're going to find higher rents typically at that location. Although in this case, we do have a range from 950 to 18. Number 4 is a very good comparison. In fact, I include a picture of that property in the appendix. It is similar age to the subject property and fairly similar location on the other side of Main Street. The difference is it has parking in the front. So it has a good parking throughout the front of the facility. But otherwise, I think it's a very good comparison. And it is at $11 a square foot. It's a 1962 build. The next comparison is also a fairly good comparison in the 1500 block, but it is newer. It's built in 1982. So this is where we see it just creeping above at $12 a square foot. The sixth comparison is another very good comparison. It's actually a great comparison. It's mostly, it's on the corner as well. Further up Main Street, though, in the 1900 block. It was built in 1969, and the rent is $10.56 a square foot. And number 7 through 10 are all located in a medical building further up Main Street in the 2100 block. And I would consider this to be a superior property. And then the last two comparisons are on Henderson Highway. The first is in kind of a retail sort of complex at $12, and sorry, the second is at a retail complex, $5.74. It's not a very good comparison because it's kind of set back in the retail facility. And number 11 is an H&R block on a corner on Henderson. I think it's a great comparison, but it is significantly newer, built in 1979. So when we look at these comparisons, Mr. Chairman, I think, when we whittle out the highs and the lows, we have a fairly good range, and that is between $10 to $12 a square foot. And when we look at the subject's age and other factors, I think that the median of that range is appropriate, $11. I wouldn't feel comfortable going above that based on the fact that the properties that do attain $12 or up are going to have factors such as age or parking or visibility or other factors that would explain that. So we used $11 a square foot. And then on page 8, applying $11 plus the uncontested utility costs, we come to a total annual rental value of $47,439, rounded to $47,460. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, questions on Mr. Slaughter's presentation? Ms. Scheibo?
Yes, you can open my rebuttal. We will open first 1125 Main Street.
Let's hang on for a second while we get is that the same rebuttal as before?
It's
Yes.
new property, yeah, same rebuttal.
Okay.
It's in that same listing, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see the main this property rent between $15.50 and $16.
Okay.
So it's agent second third rebuttal for $9.50, but it's over 6,000 square feet, much bigger than the subject property. So we ignore this. So we can see $16 first comparables. Let's open page another 1924. It's at $12. You don't need
Sorry,
it.
where's
It's same.
1924?
24. It's $12. It's same.
It's in that same
We will
listing?
open 9060 Main Street. It's best comparables presented by
Oh,
agent.
thank you.
His statement, but you can see it's gross rent. We don't compare gross rent and net rent, so we can ignore these comparables. 2110 Main Street, you can see that main floor, it's comparable number 7. On main floor, $12.50. It's good comparables. But comparables number 8, 9, and 10, it's upper floor. We have one floor building. We can ignore these comparables. Comparables number 11, 230 Main Street, Henderson. We can see that second floor rent for $12.52. So its average will be more or less $12, like comparables 11 at subject of agent. And another comparable 963 Henderson, average of all leases in this neighborhood, $19.36. If you open page
Sorry,
which
8,
one?
Which one?
963 Henderson.
Thank you.
If you open page 8 of income expense mailer, you can see rent of this area, $19.36. So we acknowledge that rent for subject property presented by agent between $12 and $19. Thank you. No further questions.
Sorry, Svetlana, on the one for 963 Henderson on page 8, you said?
Yeah, last page you can see rent average $19.36.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And this retail properties like my comparables, because you can see subject property state on Main Street and attached to another retail stores. Thank you. No further information.
All right. Michelle, any questions of Mr. Slaughter?
No questions, thank you.
Diane, any questions of Mr. Slaughter?
Mr. Slaughter, no.
Okay. Now, any question on Ms. Scheibel's rebuttal evidence?
No question.
Mr. Slaughter, do you have any questions on the rebuttal evidence? First of all,
Oh, just a summary comment, but I can reserve that for my rebuttal, Mr. Chairman.
okay. Michelle,
I do have a question. Sorry.
oh, Diane, okay, I guess you have a question.
I do have a question. So I can't remember which property you said was you wanted to disallow, because I think it was the Main Street, perhaps, because it's showing income type gross rent, but on the
1960 Main Street, it's gross rent.
okay, so on the one page, on page 1, it says gross rent. On page 2, it says net rent.
1 second.
So which is it?
960.
It says net lease ticked off there.
Because if it will be a net lease, we can see should be number how much they recovery for tax, administration, and utility, but they not recover it.
They're not putting any recoveries in there, so you think they
Yes.
marked the net lease incorrectly there?
Yes, it's gross lease.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay. Now, Mr. Slaughter, you said you had a rebuttal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'll just pause for the panel to refer to that document. And again, it looked very similar to the first document, but it states rebuttal evidence in the center. And it
that's
should
down
have
by
come
the
in.
property, correct? Yeah, okay, I got that one now.
Okay, everybody's good?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll just make this quick. The assessor had 3 sets of comparisons, and she explained, why each was used. I don't necessarily agree with the first set. I mean, this is owned by Co-op, and Co-op does have gas stations, but this isn't a gas station. And so that subset of comparisons were gas stations and I think some convenience stores. And a factor to consider with convenience stores is typically they're going to have a very large land to building ratio for ample parking. Usually 8 or 10 to 1 is the ratio. So I don't put any stock into the first set of comparisons. I just simply show a picture of an example of the sort of land to building ratio you'll find. The second set I think is very good, but I just wanted to bring some more attention to some of the comparisons. The first is, or the first two, 1815, 1817 Main, I have a picture of this. Great comparison, except I do think some adjustments required. It was built in 1989, but otherwise this is more what we're talking about, this kind of street front, minimal parking, commercial property. But the rents are $11.28. So I actually think it corroborates our conclusions. So I think those are good. The next one is 310 Leela. It's new and it has a massive parking lot. I'm actually surprised that the rent is only $11.53, but certainly if you get $11.53 for that type of property, you're not going to get $11.53 for something like the subject. The next one you can see, it was an old bank converted to a dental center. It has ample parking in the back, about 20 to 23 stalls. Very superior property. Next, 1120 McPhillips, built in 1988. There's parking in the rear. It's used as a daycare. The rent is $10.05. Again, I don't think this actually corroborates our conclusions. The next is something 1467 Main. I do like this comparison as far as location and the fact it's like a storefront with minimal parking. We don't represent this property. I couldn't verify anything about it. The only comment I'll make is that it was originally built in 87, so it's about 30 years newer. The next on Redwood, the name is a little misleading. This is actually at the rear of the property that we've discussed. Both the assessor and I had it in evidence at 1125 Main Street. This is a retail complex that has, a wide range of different types of retail and office. And so this is just a subset building at the back, which actually faces Redwood, just near the Redwood Bridge. And then below that, you can see the main property itself. It's anchored by a large Shoppers Drug Mart and some other retail. And this is the sort of thing that it can be used as comparison, but we have to understand that it's a bit of a different thing. It has ample parking. It's a retail location. And then the last set, and Miss Knight actually hit it on the head with this subset of pharmacies. And that is, when we talk typical pharmacies, they're going to be in a retail location or very close proximity to medical. So you have a very different sort of location than you do with the subject. So I have photographs, and as Ms. Schabel had admitted, they're all retail locations with large parking lots. So I would be cautious about those as comparisons. So in the end, Mr. Chairman, when we really look at the comparisons that the city's provided, I actually think they corroborate our conclusion of $11 a square foot. And that concludes our presentation. Oh, sorry, one other comment I'll make. I just wanted to make a comment about the city's rebuttal. And again, this has been brought up, but we don't discount or ignore, semi-gross or gross rents. What we do is, to the best of our ability, make the appropriate adjustments to try and determine what the net rent would be. That's just a general comment. And secondly, yes, if you take one of our comparisons and look at the other rents within that facility, you might find a wider range, but there's a reason why one rent might have been selected. That range at 963 Henderson includes all sorts of retail that in my mind just isn't really comparable. So yeah, if you open up a certain retail property, you're going to find a wide range. I don't think that changes our conclusions. Thank you very much.
All right. Any questions, Ms. Schabel, on the rebuttal evidence?
No, thank you. No questions.
Okay. Michelle, any questions on the rebuttal evidence?
No questions, thank you.
Diane?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. We will go on to 582 King Edward.
And just as a note for Ms. Schabel, all other properties we will just be asking confirmation for.
Okay, so we'll just go through the
Just beginning, yeah.
Just a minute here. Just gotta open up the okay. You can begin on King Edward Street.
King Edward, yeah.
Yep.
File number 22-4173, business roll number 54906. It's occupied by Standard Air Limited. We did assess property total rental value at $346,560. We assessed total area of 19,117 square feet at overall rent $18.13. That include occupation cost. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Slaughter?
Questions, thank you.
Michelle or Diane, any questions?
No, thank you.
No, thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. Then our last property is 500 St. James Street. So again, Ms. Schabel, you can begin with that.
File number 22-4738, business roll number 31537. It's a global general agencies. We assessed total business annual rental value of $315,016 for area of around 80,000 square feet and overall rent $17.42. That include occupancy cost. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Slaughter?
Questions, Mr. Chairman. This is another example where we concluded the annual rental value was fair, but I only heard or spoke to the owner on Friday, so I didn't have a chance to prepare a withdrawal letter. So we'll just ask
Okay.
confirmation.
All right. Michelle? Any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Diane?
No questions, thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. We have now heard all properties on the agenda today, and the hearing is now closed. Thank you very much for your capable presentations.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks, Svetlana.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Just- But what about Ferry Street, Ness Avenue?
They've been withdrawn. 15
Okay,
ones.
I didn't receive information about it.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.